So, hello, we're live. This is Dr. Wang. Wang. Zwang. Zwan. It's his side project from the Smashing Pumpkins. How are we doing, ladies and jello spoons? Yes, I said jello spoons. So, we're here on a beautiful day, and we have a preeminent Brazilian ichthyologist in town. And instead of sharing him with you guys on the channel,
you get stuck with me.
We get Luke, who's his ride. So we're gonna say hello to Luke. Luke is my good friend, and he is a fish philanderer and a flower philanderer. He knows a lot about aquatic plants and running a club at this point. He's the president of the Sacramento Aquarium Society, and he is the captain of my heart. So how are we doing, everybody? Welcome, come on in. Splashy fins and cheeky hens, what's up? It's been a while. Well, I stream twice a week, and I post another video 1 to 3 days a week, depending on the week. Usually like 1.5 is the average lately because of my health, but most people don't get those alerts. So make sure your alerts are on if you want to be in on the action. If you hate this kind of action, I don't know why you're here, but so be it.
I understand.
He understands.
I can leave if everyone desires, you know?
What's going up, John? What's going up? What's going on, John? Audra, hello. The Grimster, what's going on? And Linda Worth, Running Water, House of Pisces. Good to see y'all. I don't know anything at all about what this ranking in chat thing is. Do you know?
No idea. No, I'm told I'm number 6.
Number 6.
I don't know what that means.
Carson Muffin, hello. Welcome. So this evening we have a lovely it's a lovely talk that's going on in the backyard of one of the Seattle Aquarium Society members' houses, where Dr. I screw his name up. Leandro Sosa is going to be chatting. He's got that book. If anybody has it. Is it out officially yet now?
It is officially out, yeah. It's,
okay, so you might...
Below Water.
Yeah, the Below Water book, which also, if you know Oliver Lucanis, he's also the one that I had those Enigmatochromis Lucanusi or Lucanusi little cichlids. Well, they're named after Oliver as well, but Oliver's somebody who's friends with Ivan and I, and he has a channel called Below Water that I highly recommend. But anyways, him and Dr. Sosa are people that go out into the field and they film underwater biotope / just, you know, the river in all its glory and whatever species they're finding. In fact, the morphometric paper talking about the hybridization of Hypancistris and other plecos in the Xingu, it's the lower Xingu, I guess?
Yeah, below the dam.
Below the Monte Dam, is very interesting because his takeaway, and this is something I've gotten wrong on the channel, is I have said that a lot of the plecos that exist in that region are hybrids because of humans. But according to him, they're not very successful when humans release them. They usually die there. And it's actually wild hybrids that he believes are more prominent. And he's basically laughing at the notion that in the past people have said, there's no way that you could have had, you know, plecos in the water, like zebra plecos, crossing with something like an L1, or let's say you have an L046, a zebra pleco, mixing with a leopard frog pleco. That would be pretty out there, but they're in the same genus and family class, you know, so it's not that far out there.
No,
right?
Yeah, a lot of fish make fertile hybrids and stuff.
Yeah.
You can get flower horns somehow. They're
Right,
not a
yeah.
single species, so it works out. Not all the time, but sometimes. And he did say also earlier that he's gonna work on another paper to make some corrections for some of the things he's dissatisfied with.
Right, yeah, because I brought up to him that my commentary, which is worth absolutely nothing, was just off the top of my head when I read the paper. It felt like they were saying, like, humans caused these species potentially to mix, or the building of the dam did, or some sort of fishermen releasing these so that they could grow them out and then harvest them for the trade. Uh, and therefore, the hybrids are a bad thing. Like, these hybrids are occurring, and that's a negative thing because we didn't see these hybrids before. Like, we don't know a species that is these two fish combined that then has evolved into its own thing. So therefore, this new thing that's occurring must be caused by man. And what I was saying in the paper was that seems like more of a meta-analysis breakdown, but like it's not for us to judge whether the hybridization that's going on in nature is good or bad or whatever. It's not a qualitative thing for us to judge. It's a quantitative process for us to document, and then later people can decide what to make of that. And he agreed like fully with that, and that's a lot of what he was going to wants to put in the next paper that comes out. And so I was surprised. One, I was like, oh wait, I did a good, I said a good, and that I wasn't just talking out of my butt. But yeah, so that was actually the case as well, because you know it's not goal oriented evolution. So just because humans throw a pleco and a, you know, there's bowfin, for instance, in Florida, if magically somehow those two fish crossed, it wouldn't necessarily be for us to say, and this is a bad thing. It's just a thing that is going on, and we would describe it from the scientifically unbiased standpoint. It is our job to describe it and to explain the limits of it and the how and why of it, not the judgment of it. That's a later thing that can go on with fisheries and ecology reports and things like that.
Biologically speaking, sure, but I think the distinction between good or bad would be more if you can demonstrate that humans are the ones that brought it there, and then it made some fertile offspring where it wouldn't have been possible in the wild. That's
right.
Probably not a good thing. But he mentioned that in the wild, these hybrids are able to meet. They have a border of their ranges where they would be able to cross. And that could happen without the intervention of us. Even though we've tried to put zebra plecos in other river systems, they don't work out. But these two species of hypancystrus do naturally cross in their range, and they can hybridize in the wild, and they have. And that's where we get the L236, L173, and like those things that are apparently the same species of fish.
Right, yeah, like the super whites and things like that. Like Hans Evers was actually writing a paper on this as well when he visited Seattle. We spoke with him, and he came by my house as well, so we got to talk for a little while he was here. But he was explaining how things like the black Schultzi corridora is not actually a black Venezuelan cory from the wild. It's actually a Schultzi cory from Germany, and it is a line since the 90s that has been being refined by a known breeder in Germany, but it's been remarketed in America as well as in other places as this wild collection point variant, which it's not, because of a confusion. Ian Fuller, who runs Catfish Planet, mentioned that the orange and blue as they look, the orange Venezuelana catfish, that's really just an Aeneas corridorus, or would that be Haplosoma now, or is that, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's still in the corridorus complex, or clades.
Just call it Corridoradinae and we're safe.
Yeah, Corridoradinae Aeneas, which is the bronze catfish, the green, emerald green. It's a very common, most of the albinos in our hobby are that also. But there are some beautiful, bright orange ones and things that are from Venezuela. Well, it was assumed that some of the darker melanistic varieties were a Venezuelan type that was then selected for, and then in captivity has been reinforced the selection thereof. And it turns out that actually it's all man-made in that case, and it wasn't that well of a kept secret. Like rather the people who track all the Corydoras and the catfish family taxonomy, they've known for years now that that was the case, but the public definitely didn't. So it's kind of interesting how, people were paying $90 for those fish, and they were rare and new, but not from the wild. And so it's kind of interesting. Same thing with like red whiptail catfish or red lizard whiptail catfish, if you want to call them that. Those are not a wild occurring morph. Now there are morphs that are similar in the autocinclus and whiptail catfish and farowella kind of vein of things that exist out there, but as far as a red whiptail cat, that is a hybrid creation yet again too, and then selected breeder. Yes, the laser is a good call. The laser cories are also the Aeneas as well, although I've heard that some of the gold laser variety may get their own species designation, the one with the larger body, because there's a smaller one and a larger one now from two separate places. But we'll have to see how that shakes out later.
It was the green laser.
The green laser?
The other one. I
Maybe. There's also
I don't keep enough of them.
Well, there's also a red laser that's something different that I don't know what that is. But who knows with all the lasers.
There are constantly more.
Too many lasers. All right, so then let's see here. Someone says Luke is amazing. Craig says you're amazing, Luke.
Well, thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
I've just killed a lot of stuff.
He's just killed a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what makes us good, is we have accidentally offed a lot of plants and animals in our quest to get better at keeping plants and animals. Thank you so much, Johnny, buddy, for the $10 super duper chat. I really do appreciate it. And then I also saw that you gave out a Fishery gift membership. So whoever got that, it looks like Audra Meyer got that. So
nice.
Thank you so much, and
She's
welcome.
one of my club members.
Oh, Audra is a Sacramento?
Indeed.
All right. Well, Audra, welcome to the Fishery Club. You can now access all the playlists that have audio or podcast in front of them. So you can get on there and listen to 240 episodes of Fishery, and then they'll have an episode number like episode 64, episode 140. And they're all, in theory, you don't need to watch. You can just listen. All the episodes in those playlists. And while you're driving or whatnot, you can have access to those for supporting us. And Johnny made that possible by giving the gift of memberships and learning. I'm learning. Fishworks FM 93, what's up? Good to see you. Who else do we got in here? Boy, the sun's getting really bright. I'm getting like more and more caveman-y. Like, if you guys see my eyes squinting more and more, it's because it's bright here in Seattle. It's not very warm, but it's bright. Although it's not cold, I feel very comfy.
It's pretty nice.
It's probably like 60 degrees, but it's very pleasant in the sun. Splashy fins and cheeky hens. Yeah, I just lost my favorite female koi betta. Oh, that's a bummer. It's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear that.
Sometimes it happens.
Hope the next one is better and not such a wimp. No, I'm just kidding. Elaine, what's going on? Are these plants that will survive under a thick layer of water lettuce and duckweed? Some of them.
Yeah, and a lot of plants don't need that much light, but the better question is, why do you have duckweed? Get it out.
Let's not judge.
Kill it with fire.
Everybody gets a case of the duckweed.
The judgment's already happened.
Everybody,
kill it with fire.
Everybody gets the
You can do it.
I think we should change its Latin name to zoster, like the herpes complex and chickenpox viruses are. We should have like Zoster, what is it, Minima or Minora? Wait, which
Yeah,
one?
Minima is the small one.
Minima, yeah, okay.
If you just net it out 3 days in a row, you can get it all. You'll clean it, and then you can just have the water lettuce, and
He's
then
full
that's
of crap.
easier to get rid of when you.
You cannot net it in
This is a
3
skill
days
issue.
and lose all your duckweed. I refuse to believe that that's possible. You think in 3 days you could rid your entire tank of duckweed once it's completely infested?
I think so.
I
If
want.
you're diligent enough.
Okay, well, a new challenge is just popped up because of Luke's big mouth. So, the doctor himself.
This is not an invitation to send me duckweed.
Oh yeah, it is now.
No, it's not.
So if
I
you can
promise
collect
I'll throw
all,
the box away.
if you can collect all the duckweed in your tank in 3 days with nothing left that comes back, no little starts come back again. What's the prize that I will give them? I got to think of a prize. I will give you guys like $100 gift card to somewhere.
Send plants because they'll survive since the duckweed's gone.
One person will get to win this contest. But you better document it very well.
Even if everyone succeeds, only one person wins.
True, yeah.
We have to all have a fist fight and decide who.
Yeah, we will have a battle royale at noon in
At the ACA.
at the ACA. Well, isn't that going on right now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So tomorrow at noon, we'll figure it out. So
San
you
Antonio, get there.
San Antonio, yeah. Man, I wish I was in San Antonio. I haven't gotten to go anywhere this summer. So I was really happy when Luke drove up from California with a beautiful Brazilian man in the car, a doctor of ichthyology, and Leandro Sousa, or Sousa, but it's Sosa, was along for the ride, and he's a pretty glorious looking dude. He kind of looks like Kim Thale with a haircut from Soundgarden. Little less like a little less Rasputin-y or Blackbeard-ish, a little more clean cut, but he's a pretty cool dude that's out in the rivers a lot.
He's tall.
He is tall. He's like a super person. But yeah, anyways, let's see here. The fish, let's see. Beto Great Lakes, what's going on? Community tank with goodyids at 76 to 7 or 72 to 76 degrees and at 33 long. Any ideas? I have small community of tequila. I assume that's swords. Tequilas looking for friends for them. Z tequilas. What would that be?
So Ganaticus.
Oh, okay.
Tequila sunrise.
Yeah.
The.
Sword tails.
No. The split fin.
Oh, the butterfly
Yeah.
tail ones or
Yep.
whatever. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tank ideas. Goodyids are a little hard because they're kind of rowdy and they kind of are species specific. Like they won't eat their own babies in a lot of cases, but they'll rough up other fish. Like I don't.
You want other things with them.
Yeah, you want other things with them. So, I mean, I would say some corridors probably wouldn't hurt, or any sort of armored catfish, any plecos, something like that. In a 33, it'd be fine, like a smaller species. But if it's gonna be set up for the goodyids, I mean, rainbow fish aren't the worst idea ever. Like some small size ones.
Do you want the other thing to also breed? Because that's
True.
probably not an option.
True. Yeah.
But if you just want something little.
Yeah, if you just want something little, I mean, Danios are always a good choice too. They're quick enough and they can get out of the way, even if they have a grumpy neighbor. So I would say like small Danios. Don't get like zebra Danios. Everyone gets zebra Danios, and then they're like, "Why did I get the zebra Danios? They're like too fast, and I can't even net them out of the tank when I'm sick of them." So I would say that like Kythit Danios, Danio Chopra, Tin Winnie Danio, or the Gold Ring.
Some little tetras.
Little tetras, yeah.
Embers, Tucanos.
Embers,
Nice.
Tucanos would be
Tucano
nice,
kids
but
are
they're pricey, but they're nice, yeah. Blind cave tetras would work too, because they're Mexican. Maybe that would be a cool tank. And then, I've also kept peacock gudgeons with them, which was like an accidental thing, but it's worked out thus far. They are peacock gudgeons. Some people will say that they're totally peaceful, but they're not. They will hold their own, and they'll kind of make some territories down low if you've got some plants down low. But so, Luke, we didn't do a good job of answering the question of what are a few plants that you could grow under floating plants. So if you have a thick layer of floating plants, what can you grow under that? Crypts? Swords?
Some crypts will be okay. They won't look as pretty as they could if you had them under bright light. They won't have any of their shiny iridescence.
Yeah.
But a lot of them will stretch out and get big.
Yeah, they'll reach for
the
this
famous one that grows in the darkness.
Bulbitis, yeah.
Most Anubias will do okay. I guess it depends on how thick that mat is.
Right, and it depends on your lighting as well. If you've got like a Kessel like spotlight, and you got like 3 of those just blasting through that, or like an ADA ballast light, then you'll probably be able to grow whatever the heck you want. But you're not going to be growing like Rotala ramosi or anything like that, like delicate stem plants. That's really what you're going to want to stay away from. If it is a rhizome plant or a bulb plant, you can probably get away with it. Also, chaining plants.
Some people have made a little ring that you can let some light through also.
Yeah, the little skylights are a good idea.
I think it's better to just get rid of the duckweed.
Right, me too. Just set fire to the duckweed. You know, duckweed is like 54 or 56. You can watch my video on it. It's a lot of % protein by dry weight. And so you could actually use it for like a workout, like, you know, pre-workout, like protein source. It's kind of crazy.
If I ever worked out.
Yeah, if we ever worked out, right? I sure don't. I work out in bed, like, just doing the, like, isometric, like...
I lift tanks sometimes.
Like, stretches and stuff while I'm stuck in a wheelchair and sitting for the next month, probably. Went away for 3 weeks, left a friend to feed, fertilize my aquarium. Everything survived, but for some reason, all of my duckweed disappeared. Any idea why? They might have used Flourish XL, or maybe you have some vowels or crypts that got very angry and committed chemical warfare against your other stuff. But Flo could have broken it up too, I guess. Or maybe
you have a really good friend.
Maybe you have a really good friend, or maybe you have a goldfish or a dojo loach that's secretly eating things. A cichlid could secretly be eating those. Live bears, if your friend actually was a crappy friend and didn't come over at all, live bears will eat duckweed when they get really hungry. They'll eat algae too. So it's very possible that they got hungry and ate what was around. That would be comical if somehow, like, he not only was a terrible friend in that he said he came but he didn't, but it yet worked out because he got rid of your duckweed and your fish are now like vegans or something. Yeah, I don't know though. That's kind of wild. I'd like to hear how that shakes out, David. I'd like to hear if you think that you had a fish that ate it, or like I said, there are a few Valsinaria and cryptocorin chemical reactions that can happen, but they're not usually that quick. They're usually like a few weeks and one plant or the other starts losing ground and then melting. That's more what you'd expect. Also, if you're using Seachem Flourish XL, it has the ability to create glutaraldehyde once it hits the water, essentially. Allegedly.
Did you also perhaps leave a lid to prevent some evaporation and maybe it rained on the top of it a bit much? A lot of floating plants don't like it to be wet on top of them.
And they'll 100%. Mold too. Yeah. I've had a lot of salvinia that gets this powder on it, and you need springtails to eat that white mold and powder off of it. If you don't have the little white jumping springtails, like right under your light, right at the surface of your tank, you'll notice these little things just like doing like crazy. It looks like the water's like fizzing with like, you know, carbonation, but it's actually just little teeny springtails that just do these crazy backflips and twirls, and they eat nothing but the fungi and bacteria on those plants and the honeydew from aphids.
Yeah, they're good at cleaning up mold.
They're great at cleaning up mold. How come you guys aren't protesting? Well, it's not No King's Day. Also have snail. Okay. Luke, master at duckweed removal. You believe him. Jan believes you.
Jan, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Jan, you're a traitor.
You win the plants because I don't have to ship them to you, so you can be a second winner even if somebody else wins.
Oh.
Aren't you special?
You won the plants. It's a me. I literally left my tank in the dark for 3 weeks and that damn duckweed is still here. Yeah. It needs about as much light. So algae and duckweed and bulbitis and java fern and a few crypts only need as much light as you need to read a book by. If you can read a book, they will edge by on that low light. Some of those plants and all of those algae, they can survive because they need to survive under like, you know, inches and inches, or rather thousands of copies of their co-specific fellow species cells, in the case of algae. And in the case of those other plants, like in the deep Borneo or Laotian or Vietnamese jungle, oftentimes they're getting less than 1% of the sunlight by the time it starts getting down into the water. And then we're talking of fractions of that even if it's black water and stuff. So it can be pretty amazing how little light they'll function off of. Let's see here. You're at the ACA, Claire? I dislike you. No.
Whoa.
Lucky. I wish I was there. I really do. He escaped California. That's right, he did.
Just for a little bit. I'll be back tonight. And I've got a board meeting tomorrow and stuff. So
House of Pisces says, hey, I thought Seattle was burning according to the news. Yeah, there was one dumpster that was lit aflame 2 nights ago by 6 guys that all got arrested, and one threw a water bottle at a cop. One lit a firework in the street, and both of those guys have felony charges. So, yeah, you know, a lot of times things in the news will show Seattle has fallen or LA is taken over by, you know, chaos. When you look at a map of the 10 million people in the county of LA, it's like 8 city blocks. What's actually more disturbing, and honestly, wherever you are in this country, I hope you're safe this weekend. There are a lot of calls for protests, and I don't care what your opinion about these protests is, whether you hate them or you like them, but there's a lot of bad actors that want to do things like flash mobs and like stealing, and like they hit the Mac store over on Rodeo Drive because they knew all the cops were occupied in LA. So the fact that the Mac store got looted had nothing to do with the actual protesters. It was a concerted effort on a Reddit page and a Facebook page and a TikTok post told everyone to go meet there and basically just overload the system. And I fear that if we get these big protests all across the country where all the cops are in one spot, that more things like that will happen, as they did during the George Floyd stuff. So even though that's not fish related, I'm just saying be safe, guys, and don't go looting. You're a piece of crap if you do that. So I'll just leave it at that. Mick, what's up? Late night over there, unboxing a small pair of Apistos D37s. Very cool. I'll have to look those up. I can't think of what those look like.
D37, is that the new You Notice type?
Is that the new You Notice type, Mick? You notice us over here? He knows us over here. Barbara Jackson, what's up? Magic 56, good to see you. Yeah, I am feeling a teeny bit better. This afternoon, like I said, we're going over to see Dr. Sosa talk about the plecos and the Rio Jingu and the dam and what's been going on over there. Hit that.
I don't think everyone is invited tonight. It may overwhelm the backyard, but isn't the normal Seattle Aquarium Society meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, if you'd like to come to the normal talk he's giving, it's tomorrow at 1 noon or 1 probably. I don't know. I can just go to the
You can find it online.
yeah, Greater Seattle Area Aquarium Society, GSAS. If you just Google GSAS or the Aquarium Society of Seattle or Seattle Aquarium Club, that'll even pop up. And you can see what time it is in the address. But I think it'll be at 1 o'clock probably. Might even be 2. But we do an auction, a swap usually, and then also an hour-long talk about the Rio Shingu.
And if you're further out and you kind of need some more motivation to go for a speaker, this one is one that's worth seeing. He's got some really nice footage in the talks. The one in Sacramento that I was able to see had some really nice footage. He talks about some discus that he found at 18 meters deep, I think.
Yeah,
There's some really nice footage of those.
18-meter deep discus, meaning 20. It's like almost 60 feet. Yeah, 55 feet.
Great footage, and he said he was giving a different talk for every talk that he's doing. So
yeah, so who knows what it'll be about.
Even if you saw a previous one, if you have the means, it's worth coming out.
Yeah, so if you were at the talks in California, you better hurry up and get here by tomorrow.
You can make it.
Wicked,
the next flight out.
Wicked Freaking Aquatic says, are you as disappointed in the Blackberry Dr. Pepper as I am? Yes. Yes, I am.
There's a Blackberry Dr. Pepper?
There is. It's too jammy. It tastes like artificial candy, like jam, like Smucker's, It's like Smucker's, I don't know, it tastes like a grape jelly in the sense that grape jelly is a little bit too sweet sometimes for a lot of people. Although I like grape jelly, so I'm not talking trash about no Concord grape jelly. I do enjoy it. Robert Bennett, you got to go in 5 minutes. Well, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and thanks for stopping by. We got to go soon too.
We got to go in like 5 minutes too.
We got to go in 5 minutes too. Workout lifting tiny buckets. That's right. That's a good workout, Ollie the pufferfish. David Curry, I do have lots of vowels. Can you explain how they chemically attack duckweed? No. I wish I could. There is nothing published hardly on chemotrophy in like aquatic plant settings. Very little. There's a lot on algae and on it in the agricultural world, like food stocks and like what goes on there in like soil and even like in between apple trees and things. But there's very little on especially ornamental or plants that are not a food resource or a major economic resource, I guess. Because nobody wants to spend $100,000 to tell you why the valve is melting or whatever, They'll just say, that's weird. We've noted that.
It seems to do it.
It seems to do it. And that's the best we've gotten for like 20 years, and that's been known, though. So, let's see here. Fishery, would Luke be auctioning at tomorrow's auction? He is not. He's actually flying back to his secret lair this evening. So there's that. Fishery, here's YouTube video for you. Take 20 million. Wait, 20. Sorry, where did I get million from? Take 20-gallon double door paludarium, pop the top off the plastic rim, flip it upside down, put it on a 20-gallon aquarium for a DIY paludarium. Yeah, that's cool.
For my paludarium, I took one of those.
Yeah, you did something similar.
Have it right side up, but I built a acrylic topper to it.
Right.
Made it 30 inches tall.
Yeah, his was really cool. You guys, I'm gonna have to show you his when he's okay to share it. When can you share the SAS skate thing? Okay. Well, at some point in the future, I think that he very well may change the Dutch aquascaping game in a big way, and I'm not kidding. I'm not just being facetious here.
Let's not make that claim prematurely.
He's done something very interesting with it that I think will, especially depending on how it's executed. If it's an optical illusion So is it actually 2D or is it 3D? So like
It
when
will
you
be
read
3D.
so when you
Yeah.
read it, it's actually several tiers, right?
Well, the base of it is going to be all one plane, basically, with a little bit of hills and this and that for like normal Dutch's sake, and
Okay.
then the scripting is going to be raised above it, probably. I don't know,
Yeah, okay.
inch and a half, 2 inches or so.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be pretty creative and pretty interesting. So we'll definitely have we'll have him come back and share that whole thing cuz it'll be really interesting. All right, guys. So let's see here. Luke is a moderator too. Yeah, that's right.
Well, not today.
Not today. He doesn't moderate anything now.
I'm not a very good one, anyways.
Colombian Episto. Here's a link. No, okay. All right, I've got a link for later.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Mick. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. How did I get so far behind? Hey, thank you so much, Jan. Thanks for cheering up my Friday afternoon at work, guys. Enjoying the talk. Travel safe, Luke.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone here.
Tomorrow.
My paludarium needs to be cat proof. Yeah, my whole life needs to be cat proof. There's a cat right at that window somewhere there. And yeah, she's been pretty good today, actually. She's been pretty chill, lazy. She's been lazy.
Pretty good the entire time I'm here.
Yeah, she's been pretty good, kitty.
I was told she was a devil, but she's been pretty nice.
Yeah, I kind of built her up to be something she may not be, you know. Whatever. You cut your hair, it looks good. Who? Redina, I did not cut my hair. I am just a chameleon of my hair looking very different depending on how disheveled I am. But he did not cut his hair. He's got the most beautiful freaking
I cut
hair.
my hair. I did.
Did you win?
New Year's Eve.
1997.
New Year's Eve. I cut about
Look
16 inches off.
Look at that hair. Pocahontas would be jealous. I just want to sing the songs in the Disney version. I don't know any of them though. Will saw chameleon poop mess with my fish in the palate? I don't know, man. It's gonna be ammonia, so I would say yeah, but I don't know how much. But you don't want anything pooping into your fish water, ideally.
Well, I'm sure it does happen in nature. If you have enough water in your system,
if you have
probably okay. How many gallons is in your paludarium? If it's like a 90-gallon aquarium portion in the bottom and it's a big thing, then your filter will probably handle it.
If you have like a turtle filter. I don't know how big a chameleon turd is. Like, and what does your chameleon eat? If it's only been eating like flies and grubs and stuff, it's gonna have a really high protein, high ammonia content.
But when it drops in there, whatever's in there will probably also pick at it.
I don't know. I think it's a bad idea, but let us know how it goes.
Do you keep guppies? They would definitely pick at it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how good chameleons are at digesting. If they're not good digesters, then yeah, like he's saying, maybe the fish would get a kick out of it. Maybe shrimp or snails would really tear it apart and get a kick out of it. But that being said, if they're at all good at it, or if it comes out not as pellets but very transformed as like goo or a different color, that's bad. That means they're pretty thorough at digesting it, at least to some capacity, and there's a lot of biotic activity in their gut that's breaking things down at a level that will likely create nitrogen problems to some degree. But again, Luke did mention, and he's totally correct, if you have enough flow or enough filtration or half of each, basically, you can do whatever you want. You could have a full-grown bison taking a dump into your fish tank every hour if you had a gigantic aquarium.
Yeah, if you had the Golden Gate Park, then that wouldn't be a problem.
Like if you had the like million-gallon Atlanta, like the Atlanta aquarium.
In a paludarium the size big enough for a chameleon, I imagine you have some amount of terrestrial plants rooted in the water too.
True, that will help a lot. terrestrial plants don't have that resistance of not being able to exchange the gases and respirate and transpirate. Is it transpire? So they're much, they've got the waxy cuticle, but it's a lot easier for them to take in either O2, CO2, oxygen, and to let those things come and go, as well as, you know, they do have to modulate the moisture in their leaves a little more carefully, but pretty much in every other way, it's easier for them to take up energy and nutrients, so therefore they can metabolically handle more in their roots in your water.
Yeah. And they also need more energy to grow the same amount, since they have to make that cuticle that aquatic plants don't.
Truth. Mick says everybody use Alex codes. Yeah, if you use the code Alex at Dan's Fish, you'll get whatever the best discount is that exists. I don't know how good it is at the moment, so I apologize for that. But if you go to Moonlight Aquatics also, use the code Fishery10. You'll get 10% off. And at Aquatic Arts, Fishery15, all caps, and then 15, no spaces. You'll get 15% off even their sale price that's in green. You'll get 15% off on top of that. So if you were thinking about shopping any of those places, it definitely helps the channel and me out. And then hopefully, once I turn the corner with my health here soon, we can also do some new species spotlights, set up some new tanks. But right now, I have less tanks running than I have had running in 4 or 5 years. So I do need to get back into breeding and stuff soon. It's just right now I don't want to take on more tanks or animals than I can care for, especially if I'm going to be in the wheelchair for a little while. It's very hard to navigate in there and like pour water pitchers and stuff like that. But we're working on it. Stephen P, hello. Well, guys, we're going to get going. Yeah. Cave of Wonders, hello. Good to see you. HB, hello. Everyone. But we got to get going because we got to go see, man, I always forget his name. Leandro. Not Leonardo. Not Leonidas.
Leonardo Mello DiCaprio.
Yeah. Leandro de Sosa. Is it D?
Mello de Sosa.
Mello de Sosa? Yeah. He's got Mello as the guy's middle name. That's fucking badass. Alright, that was my one F-bomb for this stream.
Good night, everyone.
Alright, thanks for coming by. Sorry we can't stream longer. We gotta go and do the fishy things. But I love you all, and we'll try to add another stream pop up sometime in here. Maybe even with De Sosa. Alright, guys. Much love. Take care, and thank you so much for the super chats, the duper chats, the memberships that Johnny gave for folks to try it on out. Become a member, try it on for size. I really do appreciate that. And just for being here, for lurking, for asking questions, being supportive, and for being yourselves. You guys rock, and wish Luke here a safe travel back to Narnia.
Thank you.
And all y'all stay safe this weekend as well. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're in law enforcement, if you're not in law enforcement, if you're a bird, if you're an elephant, if you're a grasshopper, all creatures big and small, stay safe. Much love, guys. I'll see you later. Ba 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 da da da.